Hey everyone, so I just got back from a really awesome 9-day trip to France. And last time, the one thing that I really regretted when I went to France was not picking up a lot of books while I was there, because I got home and I wanted to see things like the artwork at the Louvre that I missed while I was there, things like that. So this time I did not make that mistake. So I'm going to show you all of the books, lots and lots of tour guide type stuff that I got, as well as a really cool novel that was given to me while I was on tour. So here we go. First one. There's going to be a lot of these of cathedrals. This one, and I'm sorry if I pronounced this stuff wrong, I think it's the Chartres Cathedral. Anyway, it's absolutely beautiful. We went to this cool little town, cool little village type area, and the cathedral itself had so much in terms of like architecture that I just fell in love with. And this is, I believe it's kind of like a self-published type thing that the cathedral did themselves to kind of raise money at their store, but it's absolutely beautiful. I love the format. The size is really nice. It's kind of like a pocket guide. Very cool, and I cannot wait to dig more into that and learn some more about the history. The next thing that I really am excited about is a guidebook for the Louvre, and I believe this has every single piece of art, or at least close to every single piece of art that is in the Louvre, like all of the major stuff that you don't want to miss. And unfortunately, the Louvre is so big that I miss a lot every time I'm there. Of course, I've seen the Mona Lisa twice, and that's really cool and amazing. But if you've ever seen the Mona Lisa, the size is extremely underwhelming. The line to see it can really keep you from looking at a lot of other cool stuff. Like, there's all sorts of artifacts and things that you miss out on seeing. Some of my favorite things were like the Celtic art, and so I didn't get to spend a ton of time there. I'm very excited to get to spend more time looking through this and actually learning about the history, because you don't get a lot of the history while you're looking at the art. It's great if you know the history already, but unless you buy one of their like little earbud guide things, you're probably not going to get a lot of the history. You're just going to be looking at the art, and that's cool, but this guidebook had to have it. Next thing I've got is a book of Versailles. And Versailles is probably one of my favorite places on the planet. It's easy to see why. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, and the Hall of Mirrors, there's nothing else like it. I don't think on the planet there's anything else like it. So it was King Louis's palace. Marie Antoinette has a history there too. The gardens are absolutely beautiful. Had to have this so that I can look back through and read up more about what it is that I saw. I've heard the history a couple times. Every time I've went, I've had a really nice, awesome tour guide with me, and they've given me histories, but I noticed from the first time to the second time that they were talking about completely different things. So there's so much history here that you're not going to get it all in one go. The next thing I got when we went to Normandy was a book about the D-Day beaches in Normandy. And it talks about the different landing spots and what they were, why specific areas were important during this. I mean, it's got some beautiful pictures in here as well. The beaches themselves were very solemn, but I was very fortunate to be able to experience that and to go see these things firsthand. It was a very sad experience, but it's one that I'm very fortunate to have had. The next book, and I love this one, The Chateau of the Loire Valley. And the Loire Valley is my favorite place, probably on the planet, because there are just so many beautiful chateaus, so many beautiful pieces of history. One of the cool things, and I'm so happy that they included this, is Leonardo DiVinci's house, as well as some of his inventions. And I saw his house, but I didn't actually have time to go in and tour it. Instead, I opted to go get some food, and I don't know, I'm kind of regretting that. I'm really regretting that. Okay, the next one, maybe going to mispronounce this, but this is my absolute favorite chateau that I toured, and it's Chateau dechenonceau. And it is one of the coolest because it has, it's built over top of water. And I believe they said it's the only chateau in the world that's built over top of water like this. The gardens were, I mean, gardens and chateaus, they're absolutely beautiful. But the cool thing about this guide is it also goes into a lot of the architecture, not just the artwork, but the architecture of the chateau. There's also some beautiful landscape photos of the chateau itself as well as the gardens. So I got that one too. As you can see, I'm going to be looking over this stuff a lot. The next one that I got really focuses on Leonardo da Vinci in the Loire Valley. So it's got some cool drawings from Leonardo, as well as a complete and total focus on, you know, the history of his role that he played in the Loire Valley. And there's this really beautiful painting that I did get to see in person. And unfortunately, the painting, from what our guide told us, it features a prominent royal figure beside of Leonardo on his deathbed. And unfortunately, that never happened. They were just instructed, the artists were instructed to include these royal figures so that the average person would look at it and think how fantastic it was that royalty was right there with Leonardo da Vinci as he passed away. Didn't actually happen that way, but I thought that was a cool bit of history. The last guide I bought, I'm going to get onto the novel next, but the last guide that I bought was from St Michel, and it is unlike anything else that I've ever seen in this entire world. It is a cathedral, or an abbey, that is built on this like island, and certain times the island is almost completely surrounded by water. It's a bit of a trek up to the top. I'm surprised that everybody that was with me made it to the top, but I'm glad that they did. As you can see, it's gigantic and it's absolutely beautiful. It looks like something out of a storybook. And to have been there was just mind-blowing. At the very top, there is a golden sort of statue attached to the top of the cathedral of St Michael, and there's the legend that he slayed a dragon. And so there's this really cool, amazing history as well as a little bit of lore with it. I can't wait to read more about it because this was a beautiful place to visit. It was like stepping back in time. All of this was like stepping back in time. But before I left the tour, our amazing tour guide had purchased a novel for me, which I thought was extremely nice of them. It's one of her favorite books as well as a really famous classic French novel, and it is Suite Francaise. I can't pronounce the title very well, but I think it is Suite Francaise, something like that. Super sorry for mispronouncing that, but it's in English and it sounds really amazing. It is about this like village where the Nazis tried to overthrow France, tried to take over France, and it's like the individual people's experience while this happened, how they reacted to the Nazi invasion. Sounds really amazing. Sounds like something I really enjoy. It's a fairly thick novel, very small text, so I'm gonna have to save this for when I have a lot of time and for when I'm really in the mood for like a historical fiction novel. And I mean, I've heard amazing things. I know that there's a movie based on it as well as like a BBC television series. So apparently it's been around for a while and it is a fantastic work of fiction. Really excited to have this. Can't wait to start reading it, but I'm excited to start reading all of these. But out of all of the books that I got, what do you think would be your favorite to look through and your favorite to spend some time with? Let me know in the comments section. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.